So 2021 was the first big return to movies since 2019. This meant that a huge load of previously delayed blockbusters were all shoved out at the same time, particularly in October. Some films shifted dates, others went to streaming, and some went to both theaters and streaming at the same time. Now that the year is over, it's once more time for the obligatory top 10 movies of the year. So here we go. Number 10, Titane. Director Julia DeCarno delivered a fascinating body horror in 2016's Raw, and she increases that wild nature with Titane. It's a surreal picture in which Alexia, a damaged woman since childhood, kills people and has sex with cars. When she finds herself on the lam, she hides her gender and pretends to be the missing son of a depressed firefighter. Her plot to hide becomes all the more complicated when she discovers that she is pregnant. And yes, she's pregnant because of her sexual interactions with cars. So yeah, this is a very weird film, but it does have its heart firmly in the right place. Alexia is reluctant to accept the love of the firefighter, but the desire to find acceptance and comfort soon outweighs distrust. And yes, it's a grotesque picture with plenty of body horror, involving lots of blood, guts, cartilage, and oil, but it's also an incredibly emotional and introspective film that I absolutely adore. Number 9, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Sony Animation delivers a fast-paced yet meaningful animated adventure that is perfectly absurd and wild with creativity. The film starts off as a road trip movie where the teenager Abby is off to film school, while her dad tries to connect with his daughter one last time. At the same time, however, humanity comes under attack by evil robots, and the Mitchells have to save humanity. And yeah, color me surprised that the best animated film of the year is Sony's frenetic slapstick adventure, even though films like Encanto and Raya and the Last Dragon were surprisingly great animated movies this year. But this film is just bursting with so many creative uses of animation, and it has a robust script of fast-paced wit. The movie is so damn good that even though it was pushed to Netflix after being long delayed, it soon had a theatrical and home video release. Number 8, The Suicide Squad. Director James Gunn brings his clever wit to the DC movie universe, and it's made all the better for it. His take on the anti-hero ensemble of villains forced into covert missions is an uproarious action feast. Even though the film boasts a heavy cast and a climax that involves fighting a giant monster, this is a surprisingly focused narrative of fighting back against the status quo, as well as condemning imperialism and overcoming your shortcomings more by choice than orders. It's also wickedly funny and just incredibly violent, just brutal, over-the-top, blood and guts gore, and I love it. Number 7, Benedetta. Director Paul Verhoeven hasn't lost his touch. Benedetta is based on the true story of a 17th century nun who had a secret lesbian romance. She experiences religious visions and convinces her convent that she is a vessel of God's word. This film is just wild, brimming with both erotic moments of passion and surreal contemplations on faith. It's a boldly questioning picture that features loads of outlandish scenes, such as Benedetta suckling from the Virgin Mary and making out with Jesus in a dream. It's a fittingly unflinching film considering it's based on the book Immodest Acts, the life of a lesbian nun in Renaissance Italy. Benedetta is a deep questioning not just of faith and sexuality, but power structures, zealotry, and greed. Number 6, Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. This is without question one of the funniest films of the year. Kristen Wiig and Annie Mamolo write and star in this ridiculous farce of two obnoxious women who go on vacation. The two unwittingly become involved in an evil scheme to unleash lethal mosquitoes on Florida. It'd take too long to go into the details of just what goes down, so I'll just say that the film involves an albino mastermind, a submarine fit for a James Bond villain, an adorable kidnapped kid, human cannons, water spirits, culottes, and a song directed towards seagulls. It's an incredibly absurd picture that I cannot stop laughing at. Number 5, Spencer. Kristen Stewart delivers one of the best performances of the year for her portrayal of Princess Diana. She plays the royal icon during the Christmas gathering of 1991, not long after her husband of Prince Charles cheats on her. This isn't a stuffy historical drama, but rather a psychological horror. Diana herself struggles to keep her mind together amid a controlling royal family, and being hounded by the public that scrutinizes her every action. It's a very uneasy film that contradicts tradition and fame, where where people are treated more as currency than individuals. It's such a tense movie that the climax of Diana getting away to order Kentucky Fried Chicken feels so very deserved. Number 4, The Green Knight. David Lowery's adaptation of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is a dark, moody, and surreal fantasy that I cannot stop thinking about. Dev Patel plays Sir Gawain on his quest to seek out the Green Knight. When he finds the Green Knight, he will be decapitated per their agreement. His adventure is one of ghosts and giants as he struggles to find acceptance in death. It's a trippy medieval contemplation on legacy and destiny with amazing ambiance and violence. Also, it takes place on Christmas and has a scene where Sir Gawain says, "Never forget this Christmas day," right before he decapitates the Green Knight. So yes, this is a Christmas movie. Number 3, Dune. Denis Villeneuve is the only director I'd ever trust to handle adapting Frank Herbert's dense novel of a sci-fi epic. He did not disappoint at all. Dune is everything I want out of science fiction. It's a perfectly bleak and atmospheric adventure of prophecy, politics, and colonialism critique that nails the appeal of the book. The all-star cast delivers fantastic performances all around, but if I had to choose just one, Rebecca Ferguson certainly is a highlight for her unflinching portrayal of Lady Jessica. The special effects are astounding for the fusion of the practical and the digital. The special effects also complement the engrossing world building. Though the film is only the first half of the first book, Part 2 has already been approved by Warner Brothers and is well on its way into production. And I cannot wait until Part 2. Number 2, Annette. In a year where big and beautiful musicals made a major comeback with films like In the Heights and West Side Story, it's criminal that this rock opera was overlooked. Adam Driver plays Henry, a comedian who is bound for the death of his career. Unwilling to accept being shoved out of the spotlight, he views his singing daughter as a literal puppet to keep him famous. The film is loaded with somber and passionate songs supplied by the talented Sparks Brothers, who have an amazing poetry with their lyrics. Director Leos Carax has astounding staging for the musical drama, plump with pathos and exuding existential unease. It's such an unforgettable film. And at number 1, Pig. Nicolas Cage once more reminds everyone that he's more than just the extreme actor you see in B-movies. He plays Rob, a truffle hunter of Oregon who lives in solitude with his pig. One night, he is beaten up and his pig is stolen, leading him on a quest to retrieve his beloved pet. Now, I know what you're thinking, this sounds like yet another John Wick clone, but it is far from that kind of film. Rob's quest for his pig is not a violent one, at least in terms of how he deals with people. He proceeds with his intimidating calmness as he tries to deal with his own grief and find his animal. One of the most vicious moments in the film is when he eviscerates this yuppie restaurant owner with a verbal dissection of his phoniness. It's a firm reminder that Nicolas Cage has always been a fantastic actor, and also highlights the start of a great career for first-time director Michael Sarnowski. So there you have it, the best movies of 2021. This wasn't an easy list to make just because there was so much good stuff this year. And if you don't believe me, here are a few honorable nominations. No Sudden Move, a thrilling post-noir crime picture by Steven Soderbergh with an amazing ensemble cast. Lots of great acting and perfectly tense throughout. Summer of Soul, a fascinating documentary on the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival with loads of previously unseen footage. Bo Burnham's Inside, one of the most profound specials of comedy, music, and painful anxiety that encapsulates the lockdown of 2020 better than any film will ever convey. In the Heights, just a beautiful, romantic, and charming musical. And Bad Trip, which is essentially the Eric Andre show as a road comedy. If you have a favorite that I didn't mention in this video, then feel free to say so in the comments below.